Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. I am Jenny, and if you have been with us for any length of time, you know exactly where I am and you know exactly what is different about this space. Look, we have pavers. I'm so excited. They did an amazing job today, and I say they because you have seen our dear friend Josh before. He was the one that helped us put the fire pit together. So Josh is a neighbor, a great friend. He is also a fellow landscaper who does a lot of stonework for his customers. Well, I think we've talked about this before, but here in North Carolina, thankfully, and I say this thankfully, we have only gotten rain. We've not had any kind of snow or freezing rain, ice, none of that. Just good old soggy rain. It's rained a ton. So the good thing about that is that Josh can't do any of his landscapes, so he was free for today and tomorrow with part of his crew. So we kind of sweet talked him and one of his great workers, Roman, to come and help us do down the pavers. Now, I know that I'm coming to you after this is already done, at least this section is done, because quite honestly, those three guys were working so well together. They did not need me. I was only going to be in the way, so I just kind of stayed in the house and peered out the window so that way they could get as much work as possible done. Now, I believe they're coming back tomorrow morning. Jerry's nodding yes. So hopefully, I mean, they got this much done. 2 pallets, Jerry just said, 2 pallets of stone today, and there was a little bit of a hiccup. It's not really a hiccup, but you know, anytime you're doing a project like this, you have to kind of get your groove going and figure out what you're doing. So at first, they were going to run the stone, they were going to run the stone going along the length of the wall. And then Roman was like, no, it would be better to run it diagonal. And so whatever Roman says, Roman gets as far as I'm concerned, because Roman does an amazing job. He basically was the one that laid all of this down with Jerry and Josh kind of being his assistant. It looks fantastic. So they'll be back tomorrow morning to hopefully then start going this way. You can tell that they just laid the pieces that don't have to be cut. So wherever you see the dark gray gravel fines, those are pieces that are going to have to be cut. So of course, let's get as much big pieces down as they possibly can. So you see that the bright green line, that was their straight edge. That's what they were working off of. They went this way today, and tomorrow they're going to go this way. I love it. I am just so super excited. So maybe tomorrow I'll be able to get some more footage of them, or some footage rather, of them actually doing it, so then we can talk about it in a later video to kind of keep you up to speed on everything that's going on with the patio. But again, like this is one happy girl. It's so exciting. So that's going on. But also, if you will remember, we've talked about this a couple of times in the videos, that we have the caps for the little columns here on the end of the wall. And if you will remember, when they delivered the caps, they were basically kind of 2 different colors. They were technically the same name, but this one was really gray, and whereas the one over there was more of that orangey brown. So Jackson and I were in Charlotte last week for an appointment, so we loaded up the caps, took them with us, and then they were fantastic, and we just got to switch out the gray one for one that's more of an orange. So that is this one. So now they are both very much in the same color family, that kind of that orangey brown, because we've got enough gray going on around here, and we want something a little bit of a different contrast, but there's still, of course, that brown, orange, whatever you want to call it, tan is in the stones. So this just pulls it out. We do have another unique stone order is coming. I talked to Amy, and she said probably it'll ship within a week. And so I have 2 urns that are going to go, one here and one there. The name just flew out of my brain. I'll try to remember what it is and tell you what it is. But they're going to be more low and wide, kind of a pedestal urn. So they'll fit very nicely here. So that's what that is going on with that. And then come over here. If you remember when we did our last front porch chat, if not, you can check it out above. I'll have it linked up there. This is the area that was our deck. So remember, this whole area was an above ground pool, kind of in the center over there, and we had a deck that came off the back, off the whole length of the side of the porch, so it felt like an in-ground pool. It was great. Our kids swam, they learned how to swim, they are fish now, but it was just time. The pool was falling apart. It was time to get rid of it. So of course all the deck came out, but we left this part of the deck because it is nice. We have the grill on there, and it just provides another kind of an elevated area. And we do have our gas tank is buried underneath right here, so we couldn't really, you know, put pavers on it. We couldn't do things like that because there's a huge, was it propane? Propane tank buried underneath there. So we kind of have to leave it open. In that front porch chat, we talked about my daddy possibly sweet talking him into building the deck for us. And good news, thank you for all of your sweet comments, because not that they really helped him because he's not much of a YouTube person, but I asked him in my very sweet daughter voice, and he said yes. So Poppy is going to build the deck for us. All of the framing and all that is fine. We might have to just replace 1 or 2 boards on the front that have a little bit of some rotten spots to them. But basically what we're going to do is just put new decking on there. We're going back and forth. Where do we do the composite, or we do like a treated lumber? There is a massive price difference, massive. So we just have to weigh the options and decide what we want to do. But the plan is, of course, we'll have that covered, and then coming off on both sides here, we'll have built-in planters on both of the outer edges, so we can have a nice raised beds, planter boxes that will go around. And then of course you do not want to be able to see underneath this. We're sitting here in our nice deck patio area. Nobody wants to see that mess underneath there. So we'll have kind of a faux wall that will come down so that you don't see anything. This of course will fill with some great soil. So we'll have, I've got my 2 of my David Austin roses are coming in March. So we'll have one here, we'll have one here, and then we're going to have a fountain here that we're going to make from a unique stone planter. So that'll be a whole nother video that we do. But just to kind of give you the overall feel of that spot right there. So just know it is not going to keep looking like a hot mess like it is right now. And then finally, we have, Jerry has started with the steps that will lead down to the rest of the yard. Again, if you remember, Jerry works really well with steps just by himself. You just kind of leave the man alone and he works it out and does a great job. Originally, we were thinking that the steps would be about this, and that's what he did, and then they just didn't look good. And so he extended them all the way out to here. So you can see kind of the front level, front step right here is done. So, I mean, they are nice and wide. We'll have the pavers will come all the way up to the edge to come right here, and then we'll tie it back in here. And then of course, this will be a wall right here, so we can have planting beds that way, and we will have planting beds that way. Decorative gravel in there. I already know that we're going to do a massive hedge of white hydrangeas behind the seating wall. Not directly back some, but you know, you get the idea. So in the summertime, you'll just see this mass hedge of gorgeous white hydrangea blooms. But it is all coming together. It has been a process. Those of you that have been with us from the very beginning, you know what a process this is. But it is so exciting to look out your window and you're starting to see it all come, like really come together, and what it's all gonna look like. it's very, very exciting. So lots of things happening here. Of course, we're still getting tons of plants. We got about 5,000 more PW annuals this morning. We're getting some more tomorrow or today. I don't know, they're coming from all over the place. Tons and tons of plants. Website's coming. Thank you for your patience. I promise we're not selling out. Like y'all, people are freaking out like, oh my gosh, the super petunias are gonna be gone. Y'all, we haven't sold one yet. They're just growing and getting happy. So once that website goes up, you will have plenty of time to get it. And for my local people who are gonna come here, we have got tons for you. So don't worry. Now don't drag your feet. Don't come here, you know, late and be like, well, where are all the flowers? Early bird gets the worm, right? So we've got lots of plants for you. No worries. We will be open this Saturday. Keep in mind, we're really encouraging you not to buy the annuals this weekend unless you have a heated greenhouse for them. It's too early to put them out. I was talking to a lady today from South Carolina. You've got plenty of time. I told her come end of March into April. You'll have a great opportunity to buy everything that you need. I just don't want you to get them too early and then you take them home and something happens to them and then you have to buy them again.
Yeah, we're opening because we have people that want to do the bunches.
Right, and we're opening, yeah, not for annual sales, not for hanging baskets. They're not going to be ready, y'all. It's February. So I know that everybody desperately wants it to be spring, but it's not. You're not ready yet. Just, you got to be patient. Patience is a virtue, and Creekside is going to teach you how to be patient this year. But anyway, we'll get off here because the sun has gone down and it has gotten really cold. So anyway, we'll keep you updated on this. I will try to get some footage so the next time we do a video back here, you can see the fellas working. Like I said, it's a fantastic thing to watch. I stay out of the way because I'll just be a distraction. And anyway, it's great. We'll see you in the next video. As always, thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. See you next time. Bye, friends.